Hello, everyone. I want to talk to everyone today about something that is really important to me, as always. Seems like many things are important to me because they are. But what I was writing on today, and especially when I talk to everyone about, is the title of what I'm going to speak on. And it's From Head to Wholeness, Reclaiming the Rhythm of Your True Self. Because the more I see stuff online and what people are talking about as solutions to trauma, um, basically a lot of upset, depression, sadness, anxiety. It's very solution oriented in the fact of sign up for this, do this, try one more healing. I have the answers to all of your problems if you buy this or take this new pill, whatever it may be, for whatever it is you're experiencing, pretty much. And I was thinking about it and I'm like, okay, considering what I do to help people and mentoring the soul, helping people to restore their natural rhythms, rewire energy, release pain from the body. I have always been fascinated by, well, where does it come from? Especially when people have pain that has no known cause that they can find, right? I've experienced this myself. Um, and this is how I helped myself. I stopped subscribing to all of the things out there outside of myself, and I stopped going to everyone to answer all my questions that I had. And I sat with myself, and I sat in a lot of uncomfortability for a while and really asked myself a lot of truthful questions. And by the way, this is all of the stuff that I assist people with in my rhythmic reset sessions. We go deep into the conditioning, the patterning, rewiring the energy, restoring natural flow, because what I realized was is how far I had gotten away from that because I was deep into my career, had created this great life for myself, but felt not truly fulfilled or happy, and my body was going crazy in tons of pain and discomfort. And nobody had answers for me about what that was. And the last thing I wanted was some kind of diagnosis or label that would keep me stuck because I don't find freedom in that. And so my ultimate goal is self empowerment, freedom, and real livable results. And not some regiment that is, in my opinion, crazy. I wanted to get real answers, real results, and ultimately I realized that I wanted them from myself. How profound is that, right? And this is why I often say you hold the answers to the questions that you have because you truly do. And I found that for myself. And I'll just say one thing right offhand. A big portion of the physical pain that I felt in my body was directly related to the amount of stress that I was under. Everyone talks about stress and how it affects the body, but not only that, I had wound my body up, forcing myself and pushing through with my very strong will, getting myself, making myself do so many things that honestly I hated. And not only did I not like them, I was always trying to talk myself into them, and I was forcing myself to do them. And I had a whole laundry list of reasons why I did that. So that's just a little bit about me and how I got to where I am now and how I helped myself and how much we feel because we're humans and we're in this body and that's what it's designed for, and how much feeling seems to cause us a lot of problems, and how we can't really translate that well for ourselves, and or we just feel a lot of very uncomfortable symptoms. So, what I'm going to talk about today is going from head to wholeness and reclaiming the rhythm of your true self, because beyond restoring my natural rhythms, I came to this state of rhythmic being. And here we are. So, with that being said, we live in a culture that exalts the mind. Logic, analysis, productivity, these are the currencies of modern life. Nobody considers rhythm and your natural rhythms and flow and feeling as currencies, right? So we think of logic, analysis, productivity, all of these things as currency in modern life. So from an early age, we're taught to prioritize thinking over feeling. We're taught that to value ideas over lived experience and to seek answers through reason rather than intuition. So we learn to solve, to strategize, to perform, but rarely are we taught to listen, to pause, to sense, and to be. And that was something that I always asked myself, like, when do I, and I said it with, all seriousness, I was highly angry and pissed off. And I said, when do I ever get to just be? And I said it with a lot more colorful language, if I'm being honest, because I was really fucking tired and tired of feeling the way that I felt. So we're taught how to think our way forward, but not how to attune ourselves to quiet guidance within. And while the mind is a brilliant tool, because I'm not demonizing it here, it was never meant to be the master. For many of us, this is over-identification with the mental plane that leads to profound disconnection, a separation from the deeper, wiser parts of ourselves. And we become, in a sense, a head on a stick. Disembodied minds, floating through life disconnected from the felt experience of the present moment, trapped in cycles of overthinking, self-doubt, and a gnawing sense that something essential is missing. And I always had that. The overthinking loop of always solving and never settling. Or never setting. My apologies. Never setting. Like, we're always trying to solve a problem, but never just like resting into what actually is required, is how I want to say it. So we're over identified with thought, and it creates this subtle but constant tension. If you notice this, if you start to pay attention to this, you'll notice. And so it's like this striving, in a sense that we must always be on and always thinking ahead and anticipating problems and managing outcomes. And, in my career, this was like the standard in my career. And what this does is it creates mental looping, and you can feel it, right? It's this constant like analysis paralysis. So you're endlessly weighing options, and you feel like you're unable to move. Or in my case, like you're moving so fast all of the time and doing everything so fast, you become disconnected. You just become numb to that constant, hectic, fast-paced rat race of a living, chaotic environment on top of it, always having to perform highly, like pressure on pressure on pressure. So, and it leads to my next thing, emotional numbing, right? Disconnected from the feelings, unsure of what you even want. Big one. Energetic depletion, feeling drained despite doing all the right things. And then blockage. So creativity stalled, clarity becomes elusive, inner guidance is silent because everything is so loud. Like I remember the days of coming home, and it just felt like my body was buzzing, like I was zinging. And I always had this sense that I had to get low to the ground. Like I would like literally shower and lay on the floor of my bedroom, just laying there, feeling my body like vibrating because I had been going so hard for so long. So many people live their entire lives this way, operating from the neck up, disconnected from their internal rhythm, seeking peace through control and certainty, only to find more tension, more questions, and more striving. But this is not the way we're meant to live. And I'm here to say it is not natural and it is not sustainable. And most importantly, it's not you. It's not who you really are, nor is it how you are designed to live. It is a very unnatural state. So you're actually wired for rhythm, for feeling, and for flow. So to have a human body is to be wired for sensation, emotion, and rhythm. And these are not incidental experiences, okay? They are central to how we navigate the world, access our truth, and align with what is meant for us, accessing our own truth, not what the world tells us is true. None of that. Accessing our own truth, okay? So you're not designed to think your way through life alone. You were designed to feel it, to move with it, and to respond intuitively and rhythmically to the flow of life, around and within you, okay? Your body is not just a vehicle for your mind, it's a source of wisdom. The body holds the answers. A finely tuned instrument capable of sensing truth, signaling alignment, and guiding you home to yourself. So when we override that intelligence in favor of constant mental processing, we lose our natural rhythm. We lose the connection to it, is really what it comes down to. So if you're feeling stuck, if you feel blocked, if you feel, it could be a sensation of continual upset, anxiousness, anything, right? It's not that the rhythm is gone from you. It's that the disconnection has not been cultivated and it requires restoring, and it probably requires in full, honesty, a lot of different choices than what you're making, because that's what I found to be true for myself. There was how I actually felt, and you'll find this in life, how you actually feel and what you want. And they are probably two very different things, because there's the idea of something and then the actualness of something. And what I actually wanted was not what I had. And what actually had to happen is I had to make a lot of choices that for a while I was not willing to make. And I will just say I suffered under the weight of that. I caused a lot of problems within myself and in my body because of it. And I tried doing it in many different ways before I finally made the choices that I needed to actually make for myself. And that's just me being honest. So when we override that intelligence in favor of constant mental processing, we lose our natural rhythm. And life begins to feel forced, heavy, and out of sync. You see, I see a lot of people alluding to this in things that they say, and a lot of people living this way. Like, how many people do you actually know that live from their natural rhythms? Like, I think about it and just how long it took me to have a natural wake and sleep cycle when I stepped away from a crazy full-time career. I right offhand, I don't even recall how long it took me to restore the balance within that. But I mean, I was so far from it, so far from it. It's crazy. So life begins to feel forced, heavy, and out of sync. We experience blockages, not because we lack the ability or worth, but because we are disconnected from the very guidance system that would show us the way. My body was always trying to show me the way. I was actually showing myself the way when I felt all the excitement within myself when I would get home from a shift and all I wanted to do was lay on the ground because of what? I was grounding myself and trying to balance my energy. That's exactly what I was doing. And I was just naturally following that. So the mental patterning that keeps us stuck. Mental loops we find ourselves in are not personal failures, they're learned patterns shaped by cultural conditioning that tells us you must have a plan for everything. Don't trust your feelings, they're unreliable. And success comes from effort, control, and logic. We've been trained to distrust our inner signals and to value external validation over inner knowing. Like, how many times have you done that? It's like you know something, but do you follow it? What's going on, around you? What are other people saying? Do you trust yourself? We've been trained to distrust our inner signals and value external validation above inner knowing. We've been taught to seek answers out there instead of recognizing the intelligence that lives within us. This mental patterning becomes the very thing that blocks our flow, keeping us stuck in cycles of tension, confusion, and inner conflict. And yet, beneath those layers of conditioning, something ancient and true remains. Your natural rhythm is always waiting for you. There is a rhythm within you that has never left, a knowing, a pulse. It is the rhythm of your true self, one that doesn't need to be figured out, only felt, honored, and reclaimed. When you reconnect with this rhythm, the noise softens, the striving quiets. You begin to feel a sense of ease, of alignment, of being home within yourself. This rhythm doesn't demand control or perfection. It invites, it's an inviting of presence, listening, and trust. It asks, can you allow yourself to feel again? Can you let go of the need to solve everything with your mind and instead allow your whole self to guide the way? The mind is a servant, not a master. So let me be clear, your mind is not the enemy. It becomes a problem only when it's allowed to lead, untethered from the wisdom of the body and the deeper knowing of the soul. It's time to come home to the body. It's time to integrate all of the parts. It's time to live fully functioning in our intelligence, aligned with our soul, aligned with our rhythm. And when the mind becomes a servant rather than a master, it supports clarity, helps you organize action, and becomes a powerful tool for bringing your inner truth into the world. But it cannot replace presence. It cannot replace feeling, and it cannot replace the intelligence of rhythm, the natural ebb and flow that governs all of life. So true wholeness is not about abandoning the mind. It is about restoring the balance between. It's about restoring the balance and bringing the mind back into the right relationship with your whole self. So perceiving yourself differently. So from disconnection to wholeness, you are not a problem to fix. You are a whole being to remember. You're not meant to navigate life by force. You are designed to flow, to respond, to create an alignment with your natural rhythm. When you begin to perceive yourself differently, everything changes. So what changes? Struggle becomes an invitation to reconnect. Blocks become signals to pause and listen. Emotions become guidance, not obstacles. You shift from surviving life through mental effort to co-creating life through presence and rhythm. So I'd like to just close this up by taking a gentle pause to return to yourself. So let's just go ahead and take a deep breath. Right now, can you feel into yourself, not with your mind, but with your awareness? Can you feel the quiet rhythm within you? The pulse, the breath, the stillness. And can you notice the life that is already here? The life beneath the thoughts, beneath the striving. This is the doorway back. This is the return. And from here, you can begin to reclaim the rhythm of your true self, not through effort, but through allowing. And if you're interested in going deeper into this work with me, please visit my website. My Rhythmic Reset intensive sessions, we go through the depths of all of this, like in a great way, to restore balance, to rewire the energy, to dissolve the patterning and conditioning that keeps so many of us stuck. Thank you, everyone.